Man, what's the most disgusting thing you ever said to a girl and didn't even realize how disgusting it was until later? One of my first jobs, I was going out for lunch break and saw one of the team leads coming in for her shift and she looked like she had bags under her eyes. I said something like, "Damn, you look tired." And she understandably snapped back at me. I shook it off and left for lunch. Took me too long to realize that she was probably just not wearing makeup that day, and what I said was not the same as asking if she was okay or just not saying anything at all. Wish I had, so I could have apologized, as we were previously pretty nice and she probably thought much less of me afterwards. You know how in the middle of an argument, you say the most hurtful thing you can? Well, I called her barren. This was a woman who couldn't have kids due to a pierced uterus, if I remember right. I realized how disgusting it was right after I said it, but later when I cooled off, I really realized how disgusting it was. Anyway, I can honestly say that those are the most regretful words that have ever come out of my mouth. To this day I feel like shit about it. Not something I said, but my then boyfriend came out with. I was pregnant with his child, and about halfway through the pregnancy, we were browsing some secondhand stores and I came across a cute toddler's table and chair set and asked him what he thought. I wanted to get it, but he said, "You don't even know if it's gonna live that long to even use it." Yeah, we're separated now, as this was one of many insensitive and bullshit things he's said during our time together. Not my story, but a friend of mine was in a store buying beer, and the teller and him were flirting a bit. She asks him what he's doing that night, and he says, "Oh, not much, probably just have a few beers and hit back the sack instead of hit the sack." Her face drops and she says, "Oh, have fun." Confused about the switch in attitude, he gets outside and plays back the convo and realizes what he said. I don't think he went back to that store. One of my, at the time 36, former roommates started a conversation with, "You really are a slut." That was how he started the day. His logic was that we were no longer FCK buddies, since 3 years before, and I was sleeping with other people. So was he. When I nicely asked him not to call me a slut, he answered with, "Then maybe I shouldn't behave like one." Our other roommate, also a man, saw nothing wrong in this interaction. I went out with a girl that had just beat cancer, which was awesome. And I asked her at dinner, "So how long is your hair gonna be like that?" Needless to say, I didn't get a second date. But I realized that night, even though it wasn't intended to be hurtful, that it sounded really bad. I did finally get in touch with her to give her a sincere apology, and she accepted. Sometimes we put our foot in our mouths. Taught me a valuable lesson. When I was in 5th grade, I would touch the hair of the girl in front of me lightly. We kind of knew each other, and I made sure she was aware of it, but holy shit, was that creepy as fuck looking back. Thankfully, when she noticed, she just laughed at it as a joke. I'd quit, I even did it. I didn't have a crush on her or anything, I think I just let my intrusive thoughts win. I will comment on behalf of my husband. My mom had just gotten out of a lake and my mom said something like, "It feels good to get wet," and my husband couldn't help himself but to do it. That's what she said home, and my mom, not getting it at all, says, "Like mother like daughter." My brothers and I were cracking up and my mom still just didn't get it. I was out with my then partner and her sister and her BF. The sister was trying to banter about how she was so cool and all that, kind of playfully shitting on her sister to me, so I came back with, "I'm happy I'm with the thin, pretty one." I think about that and cringe semi-regularly. It wasn't needed and I was young and overprotective. Most definitely the time an ex was coming with myself and a group of mutual friends to a community event. We were all 17 or so. She had recently taken up smoking and I was trying to get her to quit. When she got in the car, I immediately smelled the smoke and said, in front of everyone, "You smell like ass." Yeah. Someone kill me. I made a passing comment about how one of my friends had some meat on her bones. I meant it in a good way. She looked healthy and I did have a crush on her at said time. This was back in high school, but I didn't know that she was suffering with an eating disorder, and that comment made her spiral a little. I was teaching my girlfriend how to play cribbage. I started by teaching her how scoring works and how to count. Once she had that down pretty well, I said something along the lines of, "Now I'm going to teach you pegging." I had absolutely no idea what that meant outside of the cribbage world. A conversation with a friend turned sexual and she asked if I'd ever hook up with her. I said I'd have to be drunk to hook up with you, thinking that it'll be a funny answer and also my way of saying let's keep it platonic. She did not like that and I still regret saying it that way, lol. I was a waiter and a woman ordered a burger. Wanting to be helpful, I said, "Would you like cutlery for that, or is it more of a hand job?" I got about 8 steps away from the table, realized, and immediately wanted to evaporate. My first wife was fishing for some kind of sappy sentiment. She asked me what would you do if I died right now? I told her I'd probably hit it one more time before it got cold. We're not married anymore. Not disgusting as such, but I have made the deadly embarrassing mistake of asking someone when they are due to give birth when they weren't pregnant. My wife banned me from ever asking anyone that question again. Lol. Was talking to a girl and I wasn't feeling it anymore, but she was dead nice and I didn't want to hurt her. So I tried putting her off me by sending her a video of me having a poo. 10 minutes later she sent me one back. Do you wash your hands after you go to the toilet? I was in primary school and I got yelled at by the teacher. It was because this girl had a bit of a pong. I'm sorry. When I was 16 I thought rape jokes were the peak of comedy. I still cringe when I think about how many of them I made to my girlfriend at the time. I've never said anything I didn't mean to a woman. Keeps life simple. They get told off if they needed it but never get so far as to be cruel. Once told a girl save your money, I make more than you, I'll pay. Last time I saw her, was trying to be nice. I'm just so dumb. Out to dinner with a girl, and she takes out a tiny bottle of Vaseline. Without thinking, I asked, is that for your lips? I know I've said some truly awful things in my time but I can't think of a single one right now. Getting old sucks. A friend told his GF in bed and after sex. Your mom is better. That's funny. You think we talk to girls here on Reddit? Neither of us has enough time left to go into that. Rolling eyes face.